hot. I tell you, talk about the Gulf War against Iran, and things are getting hot. It's been hot here, and literally, so like my hair's tied. I normally have it straight, but in Texas, bro, we have to have our hair tied because of the heat and things like that. It's just not the time to leave open hair because people walk outside and inside and we sweat. So that's why my hair looks ugly and it's tied up because I'm freaking hot. And I can't open the AC in the daytime due to my freaking bill, but that's okay away from that. So let's begin. Stream. How's everybody going? The whole world's in denial because of Iran's little war in the Middle East. You know what's interesting? Is that a lot of the stuff that I've stated in 2023 is coming to life. And for the first time ever, some Jews believe me. They didn't believe me before. They're like, no, that's not gonna happen, yada, yada, yada. But they do now. My best friend did. I'm the one who said eventually it's gonna be a Shia Sunni war, and people don't see it yet. And they're like, why would it be a Shia Sunni war? It's only a military. That is way later in the 1900s. Before that, after Muhammad died, there were many kings and rulers. And a lot of the people don't know is the fact is that after Muhammad's death, Umayyad Sunni leader killed the Shia's worshipper Ali Hussein. And I bet you not many people know that. So he killed Ali Hussein, and for that, Shia could never expand and rule other like areas of the world. The only place you could think of is Iran, a little bit of Egypt maybe, but yeah, Iran is the number one priority. Now we are 600 years later, and the Shia have power, and the Shia are threatening everyone because I've said this in 2023 that it's gonna be a Shia caliphate. People don't understand right now. They're like, oh, but it's this prophecy, or it's this Bible, or Judeo-Christian prophecy, or this prophecy, or like Quran prophecy. And I'm like, no, it's gonna be a Shia caliphate. And people wonder why would it be that? Because they never studied. And I wonder if I'll be able to find it, the Umayyad density when they killed Ali Sin. If I find it, I'll post it. But I think you guys, like, if you watched my AI video, that is a demo, okay? It took me a lot of money and a lot of things to put that AI video together, and a lot I needed to do. But luckily, it came around. It may not be like the best of the best. Obviously, I'm still a beginner learning AI animation and things like that, but that's just a sample to get you to guys understand that, hey, the Shia Sunni conflict, it's going to rise from Arabia, and it's meant to because that's where everything started. Now, people think like, but the Shia and Sunni are united. Yeah, the military was, because together they wanted to rule the world. Like, you know how everybody like feared, like, oh, the Muslim military, if it's united, it's going to be the Antichrist and things like that. But after attack on, Arabia by Ayatollah team, that changed that's the game changer for everyone. It changed history, it changed everybody's views, it changed a lot of things that people never pictured would come true, right? So welcome to the game. Now, how can Persia be free? Everybody asks me this question, like, but Persia can't be free. America's gonna do it, and America's gonna set Persia free. I mean, that's what I was told. Like, America's gonna set Persia free. America's gonna set Persia free. America's gonna set Persia free. I'm like, yeah, sure, buddy, sure. America's gonna do it. But what people don't understand is that no, America can't do it alone. There has to be a historical fight in order to get the regime completely eliminated from Iran, and the Shia rulers. For that, the Arabs would have to fight because they're the main Arabs from Arabia, and Shia rulers never had power in the 600 after the Sunni kings killed their Ali Hussein leader or whatever, which he did. So in 600 years later, a lot of the Shias have power today. It's like they're unstoppable. They're not listening to anyone. They're giving threats to the whole world that if you do this, do that. They didn't have that power yesterday. They have it today. Now, I had many questions. People ask me things like, oh, but what's going to happen? I'm like, eventually, at some point, the Shias are going to write their own caliphate. Now, you think for a minute, Iranian history, starting from the Safavid dynasty, not suddenly today or the 1900s. We're going to start with the Safavid dynasty, that a stream I did a long time ago, is that Shia's history starts with expanding all the way up to India, Balochistan, and all these places that people want free today. That's the Shia dynasty. Now, people ask me unusual questions. How's that possible? I'm like, yes, because the Shias didn't rule that much. The Sunnis did. Sunnis expanded, things like that. They're really little Shia emperors, like very little kings. But 600 years later, they have so much power. They have power in Iraq, they have power in Lebanon, they have power everywhere. That today we feel like, even though Saddam Hussein was a maniac, I call him a maniac, he's a militant nationalist, he was a maniac, but the way that Shia have power today, it didn't exist like that 600 years ago when Muhammad died. Now, what are they gonna do? If America fights the Shia regime, it's gonna have to go deeper and deeper and deeper. But it's not that simple. It is not that simple. Why? Because Shias and the Iranian people, they've been covered by Russians for a very long time. I've been studying that. Turkey's a little bit shut up right now. I can say maybe 50-50. Okay, that's how I'm going to put Turkey. 50-50. Turkey can jump in, but Turkey cannot jump in. Even though Turkey's ancestry is linked with the Iranians from the days of the past of the kings and the rulers and the old paganism religion. Iranians ruled with Zoroastrian, and I forgot that religion's name. I'm the one who told someone Jewish this. It starts with an A. I'm going to have to make that stream one day, what the Turks' first religion was back in the polytheistic days. But yeah, starting with that. So the Turks, they go back with the Iranians from ancient times. That's why there's a group called Turkic. Turkics, because Turkics come from that ancestry too, from the Turkish background. Some Arabs, but not all of it. So they are sort of connected in some way. But that's another day we're going to talk about. That's not important in today's history. And today, the deeper that America goes, there's a slight possibility it can threaten the Gulf. It can threaten the European countries. It already starting doing that. Now, people ask me, like, why would it do that? This is Islam. I'm like, yeah, the Shia Caliphate. The Shia Caliphate does not want to lose the war. The Shia Caliphate wants to stay in power. The Shia Caliphate never had power 600 years ago. The Sunnis did. And they do not want to lose that power. Now, are we supposed to stop that? Simple answer. The real Arabs would have to take that power away from them, or at least let America cross, which they did, by the way. The Gulf countries did let America cross, like, hey, here, buddy, here are our keys, here are our airspace, you can have it, go do the wars. Now, obviously, the military people believe in this so-called ummah, we believe in an ummah, right? So the Sunnis said it. Like, you can have the keys. You have killed more of us in history. We already know, but we forgave you, so they gave America the keys. Now, Iran wants to war the Gulf. That's kind of like opening of a new box of worms for war. Like, hey, you're pushing the red flag line. You're overdoing it. Don't make us, like, rise up, because if they rise up back to the 600 years ago conflict, just like the AI video I published, that's going to rise again. And then people are going to support, like, the non-Muslim countries, the non-Muslim nations, and things like that. Like, okay, look, we need our identity back. We don't want them ruling in power. They need to be defeated. And that's the only way Persians can be free, right? Everybody wants Persia free. There's nobody who doesn't want Persians free. But I say this to my Persian friends all the time. Whatever happens after that, it's nobody's problem. You get along with the Kurds, great. You don't get along with the Kurds, great. Not anybody's problem. That is local Iranian problem. Not our problem. Local Iranian problem. Americans have problem too every day. Sometimes white people do get along with the blacks. Sometimes they don't. That's a local American problem. That's nobody else's problem to worry about. Now, you think for a minute, is it going that far? So according to history and sources, if people want, I can make a stream about this from the Umayyad dynasty and read all the way down from times of Prophet Muhammad till their Shia leader died. Now, why does this war mean so much to Iran? It does, because Iran, I would say from 1979, it made its way up. It convinced all the militant organizations to be on its side. Did anybody know that Yemen is actually Arab, but the Yemenites do not want to be accepted by Saudi? How crazy is that? You think for a minute, okay, you're Arab, but you don't want to be accepted by Saudi Arabs. You want to be accepted by Iran. Now, you think for a minute, is that even normal? Is that even possible? Yes. They don't want Saudis ruling their land. They want Saudis to be defeated when they're Arabs. Arabs. You think for a minute, what they're Yemenites and they're Arabs. When did their relationship started to topple, and why do they trust Iran more? You think for a minute, is that even normal? Yes, they do. They prefer Iran to be in power, and they want Iran to continue ruling, and they do not want the Saudis to rule ever. In fact, they're telling the Saudis, like, we're ready to fight you. Saudis ready to go to war. That we're ready to go to war with you, and we're going to take you down this time. Right? Now, some of the Gulf countries don't believe in the concept of war. The war is probably going to be like the last thing on their list. Push the button, which is getting there. I'm not saying it's never going to get there. It's getting there. Slowly, slowly, the button's getting there. Like, okay, we're in. Let's war, 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 war. Let's war. And it's really getting to that button, right? So the Saudis, of course I do. That's my nephew's name. His name is Isa, but in English that means Jesus. I have respect for Jesus. I have nothing against Jesus. Of course I respect Jesus. Any other questions? But yeah. So it's getting there. You know what's interesting? I told my friend who's a Christian, I'm like, do you believe in the next 10 years there's going to be a Christian war? And then she's like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how it's going to start and things like that. I told her, well, that just depends how far the wars go. I can't say who's going to say yes. I can't say who's going to know because I'm not God. But I just know this conflict is going to affect everybody. October 7th already affected everybody. But this conflict is going to affect everybody's faith. Big time. Now the Arabs are rising. They're getting hot and they're saying, they're debating. They're not even looking at the Israelis anymore. Even though we have some weirdo maniacs saying like, oh, did Iran suddenly join the Zionists? Did Iran suddenly join the Zionists? I doubt there will be a Christian. No, what I mean by that, for example, let me give you an example. Like, for example, Saudis against Iran. Now, Russia's like Orthodox. Look at Spain. Spain is Catholics, even though some Christians don't accept Catholics. Italy is sandwiched. The European countries are sandwiched. They have Russia and they have America. Okay? The European countries, they're Christian countries, but they are sandwiched. Russians just recently gave the European countries a threat that if you support Americans, I'm going to take away your gas. That was on sources, by the way. Oh, I live in Houston. How you doing? I'm a researcher clerk, private journalist, and I write articles based on stuff. And I started writing in early 2023 before the October 7th conflict. That where is this stuff leading us? Even though some of the stuff I said did come true, people didn't take me seriously. But hey, it's here. It's in front of everybody. A lot of the people didn't take me seriously when I said there is going to be a Muslim to Islam war. World's not ready yet. It's not here yet, but it's going to come. So are you international? No, I'm not an international one. I'm a private one, but not an international one. Private one who share information, share sources, explain stuff, how things can get and how it cannot get based on situation and preferences. And that all comes from nations' relationships. I mean, in 2023, if you look at it, I give every of my subscribers a bet. Where do you think India is going to be in the next 10 years? Next 10 years. Give it 10 years. It's going to rise into the superpower world. Not that it has risen already, but it is. Yeah. I'm not referring to Pakistan. I never said Pakistan's perfect. I'm referring to India. So I'm an international geopolitical analyst, war and emergency specialist. How can I assist you? What's your question? Like, if you have a specific questions for me, I can happy to help you out. Emmett, what's your question for me? How can I assist you with that? Like, what information are you looking for? Are you looking at information for the future? Or what type of information are you looking for? Here, let me type it. What type of information you looking for? Okay. So like, okay, so my guess is India's going to become powerful in the next 10 years. I would give India credit, okay? Now, I told some of my friends, rather they're an American or an Russian, that somebody is going to try to take India on their side. It's not, and it's, whose side is it on? It's on Russia's side. It's on BRICS side. And you know, I found a BRICS sketch, and not many people took me seriously. Who is this? Sports, what's your question, man? Get to it. Why you keep asking on my background? What's your little question here? I want you to ask me a question, or stop asking me stuff. Who am I? What's your basic question, Sports 98? If that's your question, am I Pakistani, am I Indian? No, what does that have to do with my research? I'm talking about research here. Hey, I'm not Indian. Nay, Assalamu alaikum, I am not Indian. Indians say namaste. I'm not Indian. Thank you. So for that, many countries, I've said that the many countries wanted to rule India, and Russia's historically rules India today. Like, I don't mean rule over the country, but I mean do business, its trades, buy oil, even though many Americans want Indians to stop buying oil from Russia, but hey, you got money, you can play the game, you can gamble. I mean, even though like content creators are literally saying like, oh gee, you know, some people are scared if Qatar or Turkey get knocked down, if Iran gets knocked down. No, nobody's scared. It's just if Iran is defeated and their whatever military, whatever is defeated, they can't gamble with it anymore. They can't do business with it anymore. Obviously, if you're defeated, how are you supposed to do business? Then which country are you if not India? Does it really matter, guys? I'm from America. I'm born here, raised here. That's why I talk bluntly. What is your basic question? Get to it. So, like, it's a war for power. And yes, some history is going to rise. Some new history is going to develop. Some new books are going to open that people are going to feel confused about. I know the Muslim world was when Iran and the Gulf states were fighting. It kind of affected their faith because, like, oh, you're supposed to get along. This, that, you're supposed to get along. This, that. Guys, that's not the topic today. That what do I think about Israel? That's another day. This is not my topic today. Why do you want to suddenly ask me the questions about Israel? That's not my topic today. Really, it's not. So, okay. So you are not proud of your identity in the country. I'm a proud American. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? I'm a proud American. What do you want to know? So, okay. If I'm not sure for Christians, but in this case, if somebody wanted to get rid of my holy side, did you not read what I published today, guys? Like, you watch my streams, but you don't read the topic. The topic is how is World War III the next chapter of history? It is the next chapter of history because the way stuff is evolving, the way the conflicts are getting. This is not about side. It's about evolvements. Just popped up for me. How you doing, guys? Come on in, whoever's late. I'm going to be streaming till 1:30. So you have your questions, ask away. So yes, World War III is going to be the next generation's history. So look it started with October 7th, and I was told this information in 2023 of July, before October 7th even happened, that people told me how it's going to come. It's going to start with Israel and where it's going to go, yada, yada, yada. But the only disagreements we had was me and my Muslim friends is that she's like, no, Iran's going to fight. I'm like, yes, but there's going to be a Sunni and Shia war. She's like, you're saying it's going to be a Sunni Shia war? I'm like, yes. She's like, how's that possible? I'm like, yes, you need to read the early past that what happened because only one can rule. They both cannot rule. And she's like, how's that even possible? Well, the Sunni countries and the Sunnis always had power in the region. Yes, there were back and forth wars. There were back and forth wars between the Christians too, but that's not my place to talk about. But yes, and since the Arabs from Arabia never erased their heritage, and I got info of October 7th before July. Yes, I did. Oh, so I'm not Iranian. What is with you? You're going to be blocked from my channel if you keep making these judgments, pal. I'm not Iranian. Thank you. So, in the end, many Muslims and we've talked about it, and they're like, how? Well, after Prophet Muhammad's death, the Sunni leader literally killed the Umayyad dynasty. Study the Umayyad dynasty. So the Muslim Sunni leader king killed Ali Hussein in the early 600 after Prophet Muhammad's death, right? And for that, literally, hey Arun, keep these people in line, will ya? So yes, he was killed, literally killed by a Sunni leader, okay? And the only places that the Shia Arabs actually expanded was places like, I would say, Egypt, best known is Iran, places like this, right? But they didn't have that much power back then, right? But today, 600 years later, they have power. Okay, they do. Now, I know there's some people who do agree with the US and some people who do not agree with the US, but that's not my place to talk about. I don't judge US ever. Even though I'm American, I get yelled at sometimes, but it's not my place. There's not much I can do about that. However, when it comes to my world, nobody is going to say that, yes, oh, guess what, Daddy? You can come to my house and burn where our holy sites are. That's a big no-no. I've seen Yemen say that go burn Saudi Arabia. I've seen Shia Iraqis say that go destroy Saudi Arabia, even though some of them are okay with Saudi Arabia. How crazy is that? And you think for a minute, is it even normal? I'm not sure for Lebanon. I haven't heard anything from Lebanon. So they say that the Yemenites are Arabs, but the Yemenites hate Saudi Arabia. How crazy is that? Crazy, right? Yes, the Yemenites hate Saudi Arabians like crazy. They love Iran, but they hate it like crazy. Now, where is World War III going? Yes, some nations are going to rise, some nations are going to set apart, and some nations are not going to be part of, well, the US anymore. That is World War III. That is literally where we're headed. Some nations are going to fight, believe in their old 600 faith, that it's time to recap time. Why did they war? Some nations are not going to be part of this anymore, and some nations might cut ties with the US, depending how far we go with the war. It's a new chapter. New chapter, new prediction. The only thing I know, which is interesting, what my Jewish friend told me, and that has an impact, by the way. This does. Because some say in America, some people don't want to send aid to Israel anymore, right? Now, how does that affect World War III? It does. Because many people, as you know it, are accusing Jews for it. Oh, you started this war. Oh, you started this war. But no, but when it expands, you get new villains, you get new procedures, new thoughts come, people start looking at their holy books, new side effects of the country. I mean, hey, smartest of smartest people from India even know that there is going to be side effects from the war, right? And from which countries the World War III will start. So I already told you it did. It started with October 7th. Now it's fighting Iran. The last question is, which nation is going to support it? Which nation is going to speak in it? Which nation is going to support the US? And that's the mystery. If you reveal your statistics, not a lot of people supported the US. Sources say somewhat of Italy, somewhat of UK, but Iranians made a charter, like the Iran political charter. They made that they want to kill the UK leader or the what is it called, Italy leader, because they participated. But that's not enough sources, guys. We need more. We need more. We need more stuff to look at. What do you mean? Okay, you're about to get blocked from my channel. Bye. I gave you too many warnings and I gave you too many tries. This time you're going to be off my channel. Remove. Put this user. Yes. 24 hours. Bye, sports. I gave you too many chances. You're not staying. Bye-bye. He's gone. Okay. So when Muslims, I see Muslims act like that, like, oh, this is delusional, this, that. Did you know in history that smartest person knows that the Iranian regime killed more Muslims in history than anybody else have? But when you respect somebody, you kind of let go of those things, like, okay, no problem. We're in a good relationship, no problem. But attacking the Gulf changed everything. Everything. I'm asking a friend, her, not you, my friend. Okay, Emmett Misharfire, ask your question. and the Palestinian humanitarian crisis too. Of what? Let me ask you something. So, was it worth it? Causing October 7th only got the Palestinians butchered. And guess who funded it? Your best friend, Iran, to Hamas. What did it do? It got Palestinians butchered. Next question, did it do anything? Did they gain anything? They only got butchered. And be honest, they only got butchered. What did they gain? Nothing. And now, believe it or not, Palestinians are very, very quiet right now. They're quiet than ever. They're literally not saying anything. The only ones who are quiet now are the Palestinians. Because they know they didn't gain anything. They only got butchered. Now seeing the Gulf fight, that gives Palestinians another level to think. Right, left. Who should we look at? Who should we support at? What should we believe in? Because not many people pictured that they will fight again. And not many people know why did they fight years ago, but they did. And I'm saying it. Persia can only be free once the Arabs defeat the Shiite Arabs. Before that, no, not happening. Nowhere close. Persia can never be free until they are defeated. India is not going to start in a war, and India itself is facing Pakistan and China in front of Pakistan proxies. India, I don't know. This is my opinion. I told my Indian friends, okay? I hate the Pakistanis' little military maniac regime. I'm sick of it, to be frankly honest with you. I'm Pakistani myself, American, but I don't like their military problems. It's ridiculous, okay? So here's my say on that. India's free to do what it wants, and India's relationship does not rely on what Pakistan does. I say that to Pakistanis all the time. However, I feel in the next few years, if you can't fund the Taliban anymore, I'm having doubts about that. That if you are not able to, give enough money, or you gave enough material, you helped it all you could with it, so civilians, you can't give it anymore, right? Then maybe that's going to be a whole change in India and Afghanistan's relationship, and that's going to bring new ties to your villains, because sometimes villains can connect, but there has to be a base for it. You don't have a base right now. Right now, you're still exactly where you are from 1947 when you both took independence, even though Benazir Bhutto made you connect and gave new chances, which she was murdered for. But I feel that's going to be your key, but that's no time soon. I would say that conflict is going to come maybe 10 years later, 15 years later, maybe. The indigenous water treatment remains the same against Pakistan, and now the things are turning deadly into India day by day. Well, right now, I honestly don't know what Pakistan is doing. One direction, it wants to help Arabs when its background is nothing related to Arabia. It comes from indigenous valleys with the Hindus, the Buddhists, and all the other polytheistic religions back in the days of the Hindus, right? But I don't know. I'm being honest with you, my friend. I don't have the answer to your question. I wish I did. But World War III is going to lead people to new thinking, new relationships. Some old relationships will break, I see it. I told this to my Jewish friend yesterday. How do you think Americans' relationship is going to be with Israel in the next few years? And she feels it's kind of toppling. Who do you think is upper hand in India and Pakistan and the conflict? Well, like I said before, I don't know much about Pakistan's military regime. I'm against it. I support the civilians, but I hate their politicians. By fact, I do. And I think their biggest mistake is themselves. Nobody else. That's not India to blame. They can't cry to India about every single damn thing. Come on. But they have to fix their own mistakes. That's what I regret. I yell at Pakistanis for that. At some point, stop playing the blame game and they have to fix their own leadership. The date of April 2026 was the day the deadliest terror attack happened, which triggered Operation. Yeah, I remember that. It happened in, last June too. But right now they're going to remain shut up because of Iran. Okay? They're not going to do anything because of Iran. Let me tell you that much. They can't expand. Because Iran has okay relationships with India. And India, it knows it can make its way up with anyone. India, it has it with Arabs. It has it with Iran. Who doesn't it have it with? I would say maybe Turkey, but everybody else India is fine with. So for that, they're gonna kind of really like, not rise too much. I was there in Kashmir when this terror attack happened. I know they fought months ago about Kashmir. I'm aware about that. They're not gonna get anywhere. They're not gonna get anywhere. Literally, they're not. You can trust me on that one. They're not gonna get anywhere. So back to the thing. How do I feel Israel's relationship is gonna be? I feel if the war expands, and my Jewish friend agree with me, who's a pure Israeli, there's a slight possibility, depending on who wins America, some might support Israel, some are gonna cut away. Like, nah, I don't want to do it anymore. Nah, I don't want to do it anymore. Nah, I don't want to do it anymore. And that's kind of topple a long-time friendship, relationships, and that's not just now. There's gonna be more. Like, once upon a time, Spain helped America against Iraq. Spain, say bye-bye. I have nothing to do with you. I'm not helping you. So you think for a minute, like, hey, where are we going to be in the next few years? Who's going to be our allies and who's going to support us more? And the clear answer is, we don't know. October 7th, 2026, World War III, and we are just like rotating back and forth, and we don't know where we are driving to and who's going to help us. That's how I see it. I survived the Israel-Hamas war, the 3 deadly terror attacks. I know. But that's my best advice to everyone, that the World War III is no ordinary. And here's a tricky question. I made this bet. Who wants to bet that Iran is not going to refill itself up? Yes or no? Just yes or no, guys. Who wants to make a bet that Iran is not going to refill itself up? It may get destroyed. Its plants might get destroyed. Almost everything destroyed if you look at it. And nobody has found where Mustafa Kamani is hiding. So it still has those people that can refill its energy up. So that's one of the things I'm concerned about. Like, okay, the deeper America goes, I don't want America to lose, but at the same time, I want America to get it over with as soon as possible, which is going to cost Americans relationship from all over. They will. Who wrote me that? They will. Da! Arun wrote me that. Right. It's Iran, guys. It will refill itself up. They will definitely refill themselves up. Yes. And there's sources to prove that. They're going to keep refilling themselves up, and America's going to be out of ideas, which I fear. I don't want it to be out of ideas. But the more and more the war goes, America's going to be stuck to a point where it's not going to have anyone left anymore, and what is it going to do? And until the war continues, the Gulf, it's going to keep getting smashed over and over and over again until they say, oh, America, you can't enter our bases anymore. But that's not going to happen. Iran's going to keep fighting and keep shoving them off, right? So we are entering a new phase of history, guys. 600 years ago hasn't impacted today because there's a new empire in power, but the U.S. is no less than like a villain. I'm nobody to judge America. I'm only responsible for my half, and I just know that if Iran didn't pay Hamas like 6-7 billions and billions of Iranian money to cause October 7th, none of those Palestinians would have been dead. We wouldn't have an issue about a genocide, and we wouldn't have this mess in the first place. But now, since we have so many refugees from other countries, and then this is something I told Ted Cruz, I have a picture with him, that we need to get these refugees in line. We need to tell them the rules and things like that. But now attacking Iran, what are Iran's next intentions are? What is? And people believe, no, today, tomorrow, the regime's going to be destroyed. Yeah, but not without a fair play. Whether the U.S. and Iran are both brainless people and the regimes. No, I'm not saying you're wrong. You have your opinion. You're not wrong either, by the way, that I'm going to call you wrong. However, the deeper the things go, one, it can put the Americans at risk. We don't know how. Two, it can cause the Arabs to have a serious conflict, which one's running with the Houthis already. Sources say that Saudi wants to go in a war with the Houthis, who are full Iranian proxies in support. Now, who stands in the middle? Can anybody guess who stands? Iraq. Who's going to babysit Iraq? America or Iran? Iraq is a little baby sandwich that, hey, Americans want it, but Iran also wants it. And that's where Iranian proxies are, Iraq. So it's kind of like back and forth, bombing until Iraq is safe. But how long it's safe, we don't know. Right? Because everybody wants Iraq. So this little thing right here, this little Middle East playground, it's going to have a little bit of side effects everywhere. Then leaves the countries who are outside Middle East, right? Like places like Russia, China, and the borders and things like that. So if we are taking our little ship and expanding it all over in the Middle East, all over to a point where everybody's property is affected, yes, something can be said. That's what I'm monitoring now. Like, hey, man, how far are we going? How far are we exactly going, and who's going to be busted? And India tried. India said, hey, we don't want to be a part of this because we're in good terms with Iran. We're in good terms with everybody, even though many wanted India to go against Iran, but India didn't. Italy, even though statements Italy have said that I'm not going to do anything, I'm not against Iran, but some sources say that Italy has lended some weapons. UK, the British, best British Empire, once upon a time who were the Indians, right? UK also, sources say they participated a little bit to help the Americans. But that's not enough. So that's my thing. Iran's going to keep refilling itself up, and Americans are going to keep fighting. And the direct answer is, where's this going? Yes, there's slight possibility that Americans can lose its allies. Slight, I'm not saying 100, maybe. Slightly, a little bit. Not all of it. I don't want it to happen, but based on consequences, maybe yes. And there are many people who are also criticizing Israel as the time is flying. Something my Jewish friend said, who comes on my channel sometimes. She said it too, that people are criticizing Israel too much. They want to stop sending aid. So we are stuck in a mess. So if people really want to ask me what is the result, we're in a mess. That's what I'm going to put it. We're in World War III mess. And how far is it going to go, knowing many people know Iran can refill itself up? We're in a mess. And I can only say that I can only hope that U.S. comes to an agreement, which we can't. You can't come to an agreement with the IRGC. So everybody think for a minute, what exactly are we going to do? Well, that's where stuff rise from the past, narratives rise from the past, leadership rise from the past, and all that other stuff. But based on, I see history tomorrow for World War III, it's a blank history for everybody. There's going to be new empires that I named one. India can be an empire tomorrow if it gains power. It's getting there slowly. I'm not saying it's fully there, but it'll be there in the next 20 years. Other empires like the Russian Empire, China Empire, and the American Empire, they're still debating each other in power today. And all this stuff comes from warring. If you look in the past, like all the other empires after, like the Christian ones, the Muslim ones, the Hindus didn't really have one. The Jewish didn't really have one either. These guys did. It's always been about power. But as of today, new history book is opening where we are going. Yeah. In the next few years, a lot of the people are like, especially the Christian empires, which will be like Russia, America, the power to rule the European countries. Russia says, no, I'm going to do it. America says, no, I'm going to rule it. The European countries, right? But if anybody becomes more powerful, then it's going to be kind of like a civil war that, you can't be more powerful than me. You just can't. No way, right? But that's history as we are evolving through World War III. And Shias, like Iran, they were not powerful 600 years ago, but they are today. They're not going to give up that power that easy without warring the Arabs. So who's my question? The biggest villains of the World War III would be the British and China. Yep. Flashback time. Just read above and above and above and above. You're right. British gave its full support to Russia as of today, because when it comes to revenge, you'll give it to your rival. Like, okay, you're going to defeat them? Here, you have my support. Or you're going to defeat them? You can have my support. So we are headed in a time that is the most confusing time for everybody. People ask me, anti-Semitism is writing what's going to happen to the Jews, but I told her, like, look, I'm sorry, but the anti-Semitism is going to grow because the more and more the war grows, eventually at some point you guys are going to be stuck giving a clarification because people are accusing the Jews for the war too, but that's not my place to talk about. But yes, eventually it's anti-Semitism is going to be to the highest level. British and the deadliest villains in the world. Yes, the British. Who said the British were nice? Remember on one of my streams before YouTube decided to block it, how the British fought Afghanistan? Remember? The Afghanian king and the British Empire wanted to rule Afghanistan, but the Afghans and their emperor fought, so they couldn't win, and that's how the British lost. That's like the biggest example I can give. But the British wanted to rule a lot of stuff. Even today, like, look at the Russians. The Russians have a history. They wanted to rule Syria. They wanted to rule one more place that's not hitting me yet, but Syria for sure. And Afghanistan, yes. Russians also wanted to rule Afghanistan and Syria, but it didn't end that way. The British intelligence cannot be trusted. Some of these places are still in today. They haven't exactly left, but it's just they're not powerful anymore, so they can't do it. America is. So the tricky part is, even though some Indians seem a little bit smarter than that, they're the ones that told me, is that you can either destroy them, how they killed Saddam Hussein, but at the same time, what makes no sense, why would you want to do trade of weapons with them, right? But I'll leave that aside. Many people told me that, and why would you want to trade weapons for business, right? So as of now, seeing Iran, yeah. Iran can refill itself up. Don't underestimate that, guys. And then that's what I'm telling my Iranian friends. Yes, we want people to be free, but refill, it can refill itself up. We cannot even trust the US or CIA. Honestly, I'm not going to say yes or no because it's not my place, but what I can say is that if you are smart and you want to save some money, then no, don't do it. Simple answer. If you want to still continue into warfare trade game, then yes, do it. Like, for example, I know a smart Israeli, and he told me that no, he wants Israel to focus more on the country, just like anybody would say, but some of them like have their own preferences. He was a friend of mine who was on my podcast. Everybody has their preferences, okay? But in the end, you need to figure out how you're going to make your statistics work. And there are people out there who do not think statistically, but they want to play the war. Let's play the war game. Let's play the war game. And let's, I don't know, mess up our economy, or who's trading with us, let's have that damage too. Or let's suddenly use our narrative playbook for war game. The globe is like a chessboard, dude. You got to play very fairly and statistically how you're going to move your chess pieces on the globe. And right now, I give credit to some, like, even though right now fight has come to, did you know that Iran wants to destroy the Arabs' oil facility? Iran, it wants to destroy the Arabs' oil facility. Now, you think for a minute, Arabs' most strongest thing is their oil. Now, Iran wants to kill all of that, so they be powerless. They won't be rich anymore. They won't be famous anymore. Nothing. Iran wants to kill all of that. All of that. Their oil facilities, everything. So you think for a minute, why does Iran want to do that? Gee, I don't know. So America can't buy it. Or they can't make profit through the Americans by selling their oil and things like that. So why not just kill it? Drop a bomb and kill their oil facility so they can't make profit off the Americans. So it's a lot of things to understand this shit. A lot. Can you imagine if you kill someone's oil facility, how will you gain all that oil back? I don't think you can. It's gone, it's gone. What are you going to do to get it back? It's gone. And that's, even though Arab's richest thing is their oil, but if that's gone, I don't even know if they're going to remain rich anymore. They used to be rich. Everybody knows that in history that the Arabs are rich. How much guarantee you want to have in the next few years Arabs might not be rich if their oil is gone? So yes. World War III history, it's changing everybody. It's all on the evolvement as the time goes. Any more questions if you guys have? Just keep monitoring that war, I'm telling you. More to come. And I'm telling you, once upon a time, that what was yesterday, it's not going to be tomorrow. I can tell you that straight up. What was yesterday? Good. What's coming? That's not going to be yesterday anymore. U.S. should leave the Arab bases, and Iran should leave Hormuz. Just end this war, and the enrichment, uranium, plutonium, must not be done by Iran. 65%. I can agree to that. However, something has me a little bit concerned is that I feel India is going to be pulled in because India has oil. India has a lot of things, and somebody's going to pull India to pull in the side game because it hasn't lost oil, it hasn't lost money, it's buying the Russian oil, okay, but I think it has the Russian oil facilities, but it's not poor, okay? So if the Arabs' oil is completely gone and they're not able to provide the United States with their oil or whatever they do for the United States, right? That's going to have a third member stuck. Third member that, okay, you are destroyed, you are not useful anymore. Who's going to come useful to us next? And that's my estimated prediction. Somebody's going to get stuck if the Arabs can't do it anymore. Like, they don't have oil, they don't have facilities anymore, they can't help the US. So who's the next victim card going to be for supplies? Because Israel's problems and Iranian nuclear issues. Did you know that America literally just announced that it wants to build a nuclear deal with Saudi Arabia? I want to ask all my subscribers, what makes you think Iran is not going to crash the party? It's going to crash the party. It's not going to let it happen that, hey man, hey buddy, you just destroyed my nuclear facilities and you're going to build a nuclear power with my enemy? Not happening. This war, it has a lot of games to it. People are just not monitoring it close enough. Nuclear weapon, but America just killed Iran's nuclear facility, right? It's going to rise a party against Saudi Arabia. How are you, ma'am? I'm good, Aman Kumar. I have a question before I close my screen. If you are from India, do you believe in the next few years if U.S. expands the war that some point India is going to be stuck if the Arabs' oil facility is knocked out? Do you think someone's going to pull India to be the puppet guy to support somebody to give us stuff? But U.S. cannot decide alone itself for dominate dollar economy and the oil goes economy with... That's what I'm saying. If the Arabs' oil is gone, what is it going to do? Once upon a time, Arabs used to be so rich. If they lose this war and their oil facilities done, history is changing. They're not going to be rich anymore. History is changing to the fullest level. 600 years ago, Sunnis and, well, the Arabs were rich, just like how holy books or things have told you that they're going to be rich. Well, what if they're not rich anymore? If they're not rich anymore, they won't be able to help the U.S. So if they can't do anything, which other country is U.S. going to pull? Can anybody guess? India is not going to become someone's puppet. India is like one of those countries like, I'll stay away from here. Bye-bye. No. Don't pull me in anywhere. I don't want to be a part of this. Arabs will go back to Stone Age. I feel it. History is changing. If their oil facility is gone, they won't be able to do anything. In India, are going to break through robotics and evil China's market gonna go down. Oh, it's a war for empire. My target on India, I keep saying this to Jews, I keep saying this to Christians. I even said it to the Muslims that I feel India's not going to be what it is in the next few years. It's going to be completely something else. I kind of sense it. I kind of see it. If the Arabs go down with no oil, there's only going to be one country left that people would want to target for everything. That's India. Call me dumb. Go ahead. I insist. My opinions are not to offend anyone, but those are just my thoughts with my subscribers that, hey, I kind of see it. If all the power facilities are gone from the Arabs who used to be really, really rich, history is changing. What the biblical stuff has told you about them. Now new history is rising. And the new history, yes, I'm saying it. You can expect something from India in the next 10 years. And if it evolves, then everybody's going to be after it like a crazy person. We want this. We want that. We want this. How do we get control of that? How do we take that? And India never made itself the victim card to anybody, but you could say something will come in the next 10 to 20 years after India if it evolves to the power level. Do you run a website, Telegram, WhatsApp group, or an email so we can discuss after detail? I have a Discord, and it's not as active, but if you want to talk to me in there, like a VC to VC conversation, I'll be happy to. Do you want my Discord server so you can have a direct communication with me and some of my members? Would that work for you, Michelle? Do you want it? I don't you do like group chats like WhatsApp or Telegram. The only thing I have where you can reach me is a Discord. Here, let me give it to you. Okay, that's about it because I don't do those stuff. Okay, hold on 1 minute. Let me get it. Dang, interesting conversation. I'm telling you guys, a lot is meant to come from this. Just stay tuned and keep your eyes open. Don't underestimate this war. This war is filled with surprises. Okay, you're welcome to message me in my inbox and we can have like a VC chat. Come on in. I do conversations in VCs if people like to have one. But yes, do not underestimate this war. This is leading to new discoveries, new powers, new history changes. Stuff that was yesterday is not going to be tomorrow from this World War III. Keep your eyes open. You need to watch this stuff like you never pictured. What happened, by the way? I'm just saying, okay, we were discussing how World War III can impact tomorrow. And it can in so many ways. Okay, so the Gulf was attacked by Iran. Right now, I believe the next target countries are going to be UAE and Bahrain. But I'm still waiting for more reports, even though Israel and Mossad announced it. I'm not going to believe it till I see more documentaries about it. However, the more the war goes, the Gulf is going to be sandwiched, and we don't know how far the war is going. That's basically what I was talking about my stream today. That the farther that the war goes, it has many side effects that people do not picture or see it yet. And the stuff that used to be great is not going to be so great tomorrow. Like America's economy, Arabs might not be rich anymore how they used to be. If Iran destroys their oil facilities, they're going to be back to the camel days. And the new people who are evolving, they're going to be the next history. So for example, I'm saying it, I have some expectations from India to be the next superpower of the globe in the next few years. However, there's a twist, and I told this to my Jewish friend. There is going to be a fight when the Jews step for power, and that has never changed. And now the next future is going to be Christians, Hindus, and of course, well, the Jews. But it's not going to work the way things are evolving. It's going to take time, evolvement of the next history, and the next history is going to bring the future wars. This one's ending. In India, food price has increased and is significantly so on. Well, I can't say yet because I'm not Indian, but I know the more and more power grows, sometimes your dollar increases too. Look at America. The dollar has increased for everybody. What is like it there? Many prices have increased. Something that I used to buy for $10, now I buy like 4 items for $20. I used to buy like 4 or 5 items for $10. Now I buy like 4 or 5 items for $20. So a lot of the stuff went up, but when the power goes up, your dollar goes up. I'll just leave it right at that. When your power goes up, your dollar goes up. Same for India. The more and more you guys become powerful, your stuff is going to cost more and more and more and more. Just remember what I said. The more your economy grows, your stuff is going to cost more at some point. Same thing happened to America. So I'm going to get ready to close the stream. Well, no, America, they say the currency has fallen, but I'm not believing anything until the war ends. That's how I'll leave it. Some say it has, some say it hasn't. The only thing that people are debating on right now is the gas price, but everything else I can't say. So, yeah. I'll believe it when my home prices are down and I'll be able to afford a house. That's when I'll believe it. That something really did change if I'm able to afford a house. How about that? Best bargain I can make with you. But anywho, guys, stay tuned. I'll try to stream one more this week. Right now, I'm going to get ready to close the stream. And make sure you did do watch my AI video to understand the Shia-Sunni conflict, Arabs against the IRGC. That is just the beginning. Of course, I'm not going to do AI videos as often because that costs us a lot of money, but I'll put up some slowly, depending on the conflict. So I want you guys to stay tuned, and I'll see if I can stream again next week. If not, I'll see you next week. If I can't see you this week, I'll see you next week. So stay tuned, y'all, and Amit Mishar, thank you for joining the server. If you want to do a conversation with me, you're welcome to inbox me, and I will come into the VC if you want to talk about stuff. I don't do group chats, especially right now. It just doesn't feel right now. Things are so messy right now, but yeah, if you want to have a conversation with me, I'm also on Twitter, by the way. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I expose sources over there. And yeah, let me give you my Twitter so you can follow me there because I expose sources over there. Let me give you that too. And then I'm going to get ready to close my stream. Let me give you my Twitter so you can see my stuff. So like, it is very interesting. Let me see if I can give my Twitter. Give me 1 second. That, oh my God, no.